I'm always looking for plants that provide winter interest in my garden, and whether that comes from the beautiful needles of conifers, whether it comes from the broad leaves of plants like rhododendron or holly, or whether it comes from the stems of deciduous shrubs or the berries of deciduous shrubs, there's a great number of plants that give me that kind of winter interest that I'm looking for. One of the groups of plants that's most interesting in the winter garden are the conifers, and there's a wide variety to choose from. Things like this Japanese cedar or Cryptomeria, but this is a dwarf form that is called Globosa Nana, which means round and little, quite literally. A plant that will get eventually 6 by 6, but for a long time and with a little trimming you could keep it at 3 by 3, 4 by 4. That's one of the beautiful things about some of these smaller conifers. Now, one plant that did not read the books or its label is this really pretty golden cypress called Vintage Gold. And I think if you read the label, this is one of those plants that will tell you that it doesn't get very big, but my experience with it in the landscape is the opposite of that. And actually, I have seen specimens of this 8, 9, 10 feet tall and sort of pillar-like rather than a small globe or pyramidal form like it says it will grow. So once in a while you have to do a little further research and understand that not everything is going to grow exactly the same way in every climate. One of my favorite low-growing conifers is this beautiful juniper here at my feet called Daub's Frosted. And it's one that has a golden yellow base color with kind of a bluish green new growth. This is a low-growing conifer. It will only reach about 18 to 24 inches tall, though it will spread about 5 or 6 feet. So this is a good front of the bed, front of the border kind of plant, and it gives you this beautiful color 12 months out of the year. Sometimes even prettier in the winter than it is in the summertime, because in the summer, of course, there's always so much else going on. Another group of plants that can provide terrific winter interest, especially in our southern gardens, are the hollies. And recently there have been a lot of new varieties of holly introduced to the market, like this one called scallywag. Now, for several years there's been one called Little Rascal, and scallywag is a new version of that. And the thing I like about this is that you get these beautiful dark stems as well as the red tinted foliage. So you've got colorful interest in the garden through the year and not just green. Similarly, this plant next to me here is a Gold Coast English holly, and look at the beautiful contrast in color that you get between these really dark red, almost black stems and the beautiful green and yellow variegated leaves. So you have architectural interest from the spiny leaf, from the habit of the plant, and you have really beautiful, colorful interest not only in the winter months but throughout the year. Now, not everything in the garden has to be evergreen in order to provide color through the winter months. We can look at things like yellow twig dogwood, and you can see that as these leaves fall off, you're going to get these bright greenish yellow twigs, and as the weather gets colder, these will get even brighter. They'll be bright, almost sunshine yellow through the winter months in the garden. Next to it is this beautiful variegated leafed red twig dogwood. This is a variety called Ivory Halo. So through the summer, spring, summer, and fall, you get these gorgeous green and white variegated leaves, and when they fall off, deep red stems that will provide winter interest in the garden. And finally, one of my favorite plants are these deciduous hollies. Now, deciduous meaning that they're going to lose their leaves in the wintertime, but look what happens when they lose their leaves. You get these stems full of beautiful bright red berries. A lot of times at Christmas you'll see these in the floral shops, and they come at a premium price when they're cut and for sale. When we're young gardeners, we love all of those flowering plants that give us interest in spring, summer, and fall, but these plants will become the bones of the garden as they mature. And they will provide winter interest, yes, but they will also give you long-term interest and provide a beautiful backdrop for the rest of your garden.